what a good girl you are. Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be talking to you about plucking your dog's ears. Now some dogs may need ear plucking while some don't, and some you shouldn't pluck. So I'm just going to be going through a few dogs that I groom to show you why I pluck and why I don't pluck. Okay, let's start to look at her ears. Now she has a lot of hair in her ears. She's very, very sensitive, even just to look in her ears. I mean, she gets like defensive because I can't pluck her ears at all. She just doesn't tolerate that at all. Very, very sensitive. So since she has straight hair, her ear hair is not a problem. She never really has infections or anything. And sometimes it's best to leave it. You know, once you start messing with it, you're going to cause problems. So what I do is I take my comb, if she allows me. It's okay, girl. Very, very gently. And I just comb that hair out from her ear. Now with her, I don't even trim the hair. I just leave it like that so it can grow outwards. And if I cut it shorter, it'll start to go in the ear and curl up and cause a problem. Okay, so it's a little bit closer here. So basically, she doesn't really have a problem. They're never really, you know, waxy or red or anything. So it's best to leave the ear alone. If they're not red or infected, leave it. And sometimes plucking will cause an ear infection or cause the dog to scratch and rub its ears, which will cause a huge mess. So if it ain't broken, don't fix it. And the straight hair can grow just right out. If you're watching this and you're a dog owner, you can comb out the hair every few days or at least once a week. Just comb it straight out so it doesn't get all curled up and go in the ear. And if you're a groomer, of course, you can do this when you're grooming the dog, and you can let the owner know what to do with the ear hair. But this particular dog doesn't really have a problem, so I just let them come out of her ear. So I don't pluck her ears. She's very sensitive. She's very sensitive even just combing her ears. So if I pluck them, that would be just torture for her, and it would probably cause ear infection or ear irritation, which would cause her to scratch and itch and all that stuff. Here's another little dog. Now this dog is part poodle, so it has a little bit curly hair. So when you look in the ear, since the dog has curly hair, the hair will curl up and go inside the ear. There, so this hair has to be combed out as well, but what I do with curly coated dogs, it depends on the ear. I like to take some out in the middle, because what happens is the hair is curly and it just keeps going back into the ear canal. So I kind of take out the middle. It just depends. This dog's coat isn't like a pure poodle, so it's not really thick. There, so I just clean out the middle. I mean, there wasn't much in there anyways, and I comb that forward, or outward, sorry, like that. And actually this can be, that can be cut. So sometimes I do, I cut the hair as I comb it out. And I cut it because if you leave this hair too long and it starts curling back into the ear, it's going to cause a big, like a ball of hair in there, impact, and the dog's ear canal can't get any air. So that's what I do with this little girl. And the ears look good, they're not infected, they're nice and pink and clean. Okay, so we'll go on to the next dog. Okay, now here's a miniature poodle. Now this poodle is 15 years old. It's a senior, so I never pluck seniors' dogs' ears. Senior dogs are very, very sensitive, and they can't deal with any kind of pain or pulling of knots, so I don't even pluck their ears, even though this is a poodle, because I do pluck poodles' ears because of the hair being curly. And what I do is I just comb it out like I do the others. And if the dog starts to freak out, I stop, because senior dogs can actually go into what I call is a senior seizure. So you wouldn't want that. They start barking frantically and they start running in circles, and you know, sometimes they go to the washroom. So I don't do that. I just pull it out and I let it grow long, because if it's short and you cut it short, it's curly, it'll just curl back up into the ear. So just let that grow long. Anyways, that's what I do with the senior dogs, the senior poodles especially. So this dog has a little bit of wavy hair, but it's mostly straight, and you can see all the hair in there. Now this dog is very sensitive. I mean, you can't even pluck it if you had to, but I mean, it looks okay, so I just let that grow out. It's straight, and she's never had any ear infections. Let's check the other ear. Come on, turn around. Turn around. So I just comb that hair out. The ear looks nice. And this ear, I just leave it like this. Never had a problem with her ears. Very nice looking. So this little girl has a lot of problems with her ears. They're very, very hairy right now. And we've tried not to pluck them. We tried plucking them and the outcome's always the same. So she has a lot of hair in there. So the vet has asked me to pluck the ears, especially just the middle, so they can get medication in there. So if she, won't allow me, or if it's too painful, I'm not going to do it. So sometimes you do have to pluck a little bit if it helps. Okay, see how hairy they are? I will try. Sometimes these hairs are just in there loosely and they can come out, but if they're in there really tight, I don't pull them. So what I'm doing is just giving a slight pull on some hairs. I wouldn't want to grab, all that thick hair and pull. That would be really painful. Just do a little bit at a time. I'm pulling gently. It might look like it's hard, but it's not. I'm just grasping onto the hair, using my hemostats, and just pulling out slightly. Now, a lot of it's, I can feel, you can actually feel it's in there pretty tight. So I'm just taking out a few hairs, just so the medication can go in. If I cleaned out the whole ear, I'm sure, it'll irritate it more and hurt her. Yeah, so I think that's all I'm going to do, because the skin is pretty red. So what I'm trying to say is every dog is individual. Just use your own judgment, or ask your vet, or if you're a groomer, ask the owner if they want the ears plucked. And if the dog doesn't let you pluck them, don't force the dog. And if he screams in pain, don't do it. So every dog's individual. Use your own judgment or ask the vet. But some vets don't want to pluck the ears, some do. Sometimes you have to, sometimes you don't. So all individual. So I'll show you a few more dogs. Okay, here's another little dog. This one's a Maltese. And I find Maltese have very, very fine hair, and they have the fine hair in their ears as well. So they don't even really need plucking, hardly ever. I just comb it out, just like the other dogs. Come here, baby. And just leave it. So it looks good. Just make it a little bit longer so it doesn't go back in the ear. But this is a nice, healthy ear. If I started to pluck that, it might get red and sore. I'm just going to leave it alone. Okay, here's another little dog. This dog can't even tolerate her ears being plucked at all. She has a little bit of red right there, but the vet has asked to pluck the ears, but she screams and freaks out, and it hurts her very much. So we're not going to torture her. So I just want to show you what I do. I take my clipper here, and I just shave just around the opening, because she has a lot of hair. She's a mixed breed between a poodle and a Shih Tzu. So they grow a lot of hair in their ear canal. And she lets me do this. So I just shave it. Now the vet just wants it really short. And they just want a little bit of air to be able to get in. So that's what I do, and if it's longer I trim it. See, she's even sensitive to that. But that's what I do with this little girl. You can just use your clipper and clip around the opening. Just clip all that hair. Okay, so this is a poodle, and I do pluck poodle's ears because of the hair is curly, like I mentioned before. So I do pluck the poodle's ears, any dog that has curly hair, because the hair grows back into the ear, unless the owner is very diligent about pulling that hair out every day and pulling it straight, but I hardly doubt that. So so this will be the last dog that I show you about, and even if the hair, I find poodle hair comes out really easy. I just do a little bit at a time. If it's really tight in there and the dog starts freaking out, just get out what you can and don't cause the dog any harm. If that tougher piece doesn't come out, I'm not going to worry about it. But this hair is really fine and it comes out. So if you're a dog owner watching this, just talk to your vet, talk to your groomer, and see what's best for your dog. Sometimes your vet will say, yes, pluck the ears, but the groomer can't pluck them for one reason or the other, either because the dog won't let them, or it's painful or screams, or the groomer feels, it's better to leave some or all of it. So really discuss it and, decide for yourself. Decide for yourself what's best for your dog. If you're getting your dog groomed and the dog's coming home shaking its head, scratching his ears, always getting ear infections, then ask the groomer to not pluck the ears and see how it goes, because ear plucking can cause ear infections, because what happens when you pull the hair, it hurts the follicles in there, and that's what causes the scratching and itching and all that. So you can do that well. And if you're a groomer just learning, make sure you talk to the owners about ear plucking and do what's best for the dog. I mean, if they say, no, my vet says to pluck, and the dog won't allow you to pluck, then don't do it. I mean, I had a few dogs like that, and this dog, I mean, it's like torture. Why would you torture a dog? The dog's going to hate grooming. He's not going to enjoy the grooming. If the vet really wants the ears plucked, then you can tell the vet to pluck the dog's ears and not you, because grooming should be enjoyable and not painful. They shouldn't have to come for grooming and have pain, from the ear plucking, because that's how dogs don't like grooming. They associate it with pain, and you're going to pull its ears. So please don't do that. And make the grooming really enjoyable so they like it and they're not afraid and they're not in pain. And so if you have any questions, you can certainly ask me down below in the comment section. And if you liked my video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe also if you haven't already. That way you won't miss any of my videos. Hi baby. And there'll be more videos to come. So I want to thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Say bye-bye. So cute. Yes, you are. It's a beautiful poodle.